how do you earn more money? And if you're stuck in a job and you're saying, how am I supposed to work more? I'm already putting in all these hours at my job. Well, this is where now you can work more, not just at your job, but work more here. That way you can earn more money, not just at your job. So now you're working more. That way you can work more effectively, work smarter, like what people like to say. That way now you can actually earn more money and scale your income, because now the whole thing is you've been working to make these sacrifices. You've been working to stop spending money. You've been working to accumulate some extra cash. Now let's make your efforts even more scalable, where now you're working smarter to earn more money. That way now you can accumulate the cash that you want, you can invest your money quicker, and you can live a better life because now you know how to earn more money. Now the question is, where do you earn this money? Now for some of you, if you hate the idea of trying to start something on your own, you hate the idea of not doing something that's very secure like a job, then maybe you just try to work more hours at your job. You get a promotion or raise, maybe you get a certification, that way you can get a different job. If that's you, then that's fine. You got to know yourself. But if you are willing to take on more risks, that way you can earn more money, well then this is where you want to start watching more YouTube videos on how do you earn more money. Watch more YouTube videos about how do you start a side business. Watch more YouTube videos about how do you start a business. Watch more YouTube videos about how you can earn money online. And this is where now you can start learning about internet marketing. You can start learning about digital marketing. You can start learning about selling things online. You can start learning about e-commerce. And then you can find something that's right for you. And now you can start putting in work. That way you can earn more money. This is not going to be easy. This is something that you're going to be working on for years before you really start to see the success that a lot of people talk about. Because seeing success online, making your first dollar online, or making your first dollar in general from something that you create is very difficult. It takes time, it takes effort. But once you make your first dollar, that means you can make 100. If you can make $100, that means you can make 1,000. If you can make $1,000, that means you can make 10,000. And if you can make $10,000, you can definitely make $100,000. But it starts by making that first dollar, and that first dollar is going to require a whole lot of work for you, learning the process, building things, trying things, failing. But if you are willing to put in that work, well, now you can start earning more money. And if you stick with the smart financial planning that you've built, this doesn't require you to live like a peasant forever. But if you are smart with the money that you start earning, well, now you're going to have more money to fuel your investments, to fuel your savings, and even live a little bit better. Now, if you already are an entrepreneur and you have a business and you want to see how you can be better in your business, well, I created a free resource called Business Briefs, which is a free daily business newsletter that covers things that you need to know as the business owner, as the entrepreneur, and as the founder. This covers things like innovation and entrepreneurship and business trends, what's going on in the funding world, and what's going on in the business economy. That way now you can focus on running your business, and we can help keep you informed, and it's completely free. So if you haven't joined Business Briefs yet, I got the link to how you can join Business Briefs down in the description below. If you have a lot of outstanding debt, this is where now you can start considering doing some sort of debt restructuring. Because if you have a ton of different types of credit card debt out there, and now you're finally starting to get your finances in order, well, one of the things that you can consider doing is moving some of these different credit card balances to a 0% APR card. That way now you get maybe 12 months or 18 months where now you don't got to pay any interest, but you can aggressively pay down these credit cards, because that credit card debt, these credit card payments can really skin you alive with all the interest, but they can also hold you back from building any sort of financial wealth. Now, before you go out and make any drastic decisions on your credit card debt and do a debt restructuring, talk to an expert, whether it's a legal expert, an attorney, or some sort of financial expert, a debt expert, because there's a lot of legalities that are involved, and you want to make sure that you understand all the risks of moving this debt around and understand all the possibilities out there, because there's so many different things that you can do if you have a lot of debt. Some of them can be as extreme as declaring bankruptcy, others could be as simple as consolidating some of your debts. And so if you have a lot of debt out there, I want you to consider doing some sort of debt restructuring, but just make sure you talk to an expert that's not just trying to sell you something, but an expert that can consult you about the risks and the pros of doing some sort of restructuring. Because if you do it the right way, you could get the option to pay down some of this debt aggressively without paying much interest, or you could potentially even lower some of your debt. Or if you have a lot of debt and you're facing a lot of financial issues, well, then you could even potentially consider a bankruptcy where now you can relieve some of those debts. But again, that is not for everybody. So you want to make sure you're talking to an expert. That way you know what your options are and you know what the risks and the possibilities are with your restructuring. Now, if you are working to build up your emergency fund, your first couple $1,000s to save, you don't want to invest this money because you want to make sure this money is safe. But at the very least, you can at least open up a high interest savings account, which is something like an online bank. It's still a bank, it's still FDIC insured, it's still going to be no fees. There's a number of them out there. Make sure you're using a reputable bank. And now you can earn a lot more interest on your savings than you would at a normal bank. Now, what does it take to open up an online bank? Well, not much. It's just like opening a regular bank, except it's on the internet. You can keep your physical bank, leave a little bit of money in your physical bank, but transfer some of it to an online bank. That way now, at least your savings are earning you some interest. Some online banks will pay you 2%, some will pay you 2.5%, some might even pay you close to 3% in interest a year. Now, of course, 2 to 3% interest is not a ton. It's not going to make you rich, but it's still better than the 0.1% that you're getting at your physical bank right now. Once you build a little bit of a savings cushion and you have cash to fall back on in case an emergency happens, well, that's when you also want to put your money to work outside of your savings, but also be investing your money. Again, these are the assets that I was talking about earlier. Things like stocks, things like real estate, things like investing in businesses. And yes, you can start investing your money into all three of these things with as little as $100. Thanks to the internet, there's a lot of different funds and things out there. But now it just requires you to, one, start learning. I have a ton of videos on my channel that go over financial education and how to invest, but then also taking action, investing your money. Sometimes you will lose money. I'm sorry, but that's a part of the process, and that's how you learn. Failure is the best teacher, and if you're not willing to go through that pain, you're never going to be able to see the upside. So you have to understand that the downside is your tuition. It's a part of the process to actually get the bigger returns. And third, you have to be willing to invest in your own education. Be willing to hire the right coaches, be willing to invest in classes, being willing to invest in books, being willing to invest into the things that can actually teach you and grow you, because now you are trying to be better with your money. And unfortunately, most of us never learned this stuff in school, and a lot of us have spent a ton of money in school. So you got to understand, if you really want to advance on your financial education, sometimes you're going to have to invest not just your time, but also your money to get the right education when it comes to your financial education. If you enjoyed this short clip from my longer videos, here's another clip that I think you'll love. And while you're at it, if you're interested in learning more about how to start generating passive income, our team put together an amazing guide on how to start generating passive income for free. All you got to do is click that button right over there. Thank you for watching, and as always, keep hustling.